Hello everybody, my name is Péter Boyer and I want to cover now the third subject from the 2014 BAC, which is the written task. I like to part this into two, but I first tell you what it is all about. Basically, you have 120 minutes to comprehend, to read two texts, to answer the questions, basically, which are multiple choice questions again, and then to go on and write an 80 to 100 word composition and to continue with a 180 to 200 words essay. 2 hours. That's not too long, so you have to be wise how you do it, how you calculate your time, because first you have a pretty simple and short text that you have to comprehend, to read it, to understand it, and to pick your multiple choice answers. Then you go on with the second text, which is longer, and it has something like 6 answers. And then, as I said, the second text contains 10 different answers. Okay. And then you go on with the written part, with the 80 to 100 words and the 180 to 200 words essay. So be wise. Now, I will read the full text for you, all of it, slowly, nicely, that you can understand it. I will read the answers also, from which you will pick one, A, B, or C. As I said, multiple choice. I will do the same thing with the second text. And then I will make another video about how to solve the writing exercise. I will try to put the full texts on my YouTube channel in the description. I'm not sure that I will be able to do it, because I think the limit for the letters is something like 5,000, and this may be many more. But if I'm not able to do it, at least I will try to put there into the description the questions, if not the full text. So let's see. Comprehension. Read the text below. Are the sentences 1 to 5 right, A, or wrong, B? If there is not enough information to answer right, A, or wrong, B, choose doesn't say, C. Mark A, B, or C on your exam sheet. First text. Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle in Windsor, in the English county of Berkshire, is the largest inhabited castle in the world, and dating back to the time of William the Conqueror, is the oldest in continuous occupation. The castle's floor area is approximately 484,000 square feet, 44,986 square meters. Together with Buckingham Palace in London and Holyrood Palace in Edinburgh, It is one of the principal official residences of the British monarch. Queen Elizabeth II spends many weekends of the year at the castle, using it for both state and private entertaining. Her other two residences, Sandringham House and Balmoral Castle, are the royal family's private homes. The most of the kings and queens of England, later kings and queens of Great Britain, and the later still kings and queens of the Commonwealth realms, have had a direct influence on the construction and evolution of the castle, which has been their garrison fortress, home, official palace, and sometimes their prison. The castle's history and that of the British monarchy are inextricably linked. Chronologically, the history of the castle can be traced through the reigns of the monarchs who have occupied it. When the country has been at peace, the castle has been expanded by the additions of large and grand apartments. When the country has been at war, the castle has been more heavily fortified. This pattern has continued to the present day. Questions. Number 1. Windsor Castle dates back to William the Conqueror's times. A. Right. B. Wrong. C. Doesn't say. Second one. British monarchs have never lived in Windsor Castle. A. Right. B. Wrong. C. Doesn't say. Third one. Windsor Castle has remained unchanged since its construction. A. Right. B. Wrong. C. Doesn't say. 4. Some kings and queens have been imprisoned at Windsor Castle. A. Right. B. Wrong. C. Doesn't say. 5. Windsor Castle has been heavily fortified by Queen Elizabeth II. A. Right. B. Wrong. C. Doesn't say. Second text. Read the following text below. For questions 1 to 10, choose the answers A, B, C, or D, which you think fits best according to the text. Title: Walkabout. It is possible to consider Walkabout entirely as the story it seems to be. The story of a 14-year-old girl and her little brother who are abandoned in the Australian outback and then saved through the natural skills of a young Aborigine boy. It is simpler and easier to consider it on that level too, because Walkabout is a superb work of storytelling, and its material is effortlessly fascinating. There's also a tendency to read Walkabout as a catch-all of symbols and metaphors in which the noble savage and his natural life are tested and found superior to civilization and cities. The movie does indeed make the comparison several times. Hundreds of miles from hell, the girl turns on her portable radio to hear a philosopher observe. It is now possible to state that that is. Well, this isn't exactly helpful, and so we laugh. And more adolescent viewers may have to stifle a sigh and a tear when the girl is seen at the movie's end married to a cloddish office clerk and nostalgically remembering her idyllic days in the desert. The contrast between civilization and man's more natural states is well drawn in the movie and will interest serious-minded young people, just as at the level of pure story, Walkabout will probably fascinate kids. But I don't think it's fruitful to draw all the parallels and then piously conclude that we could all be better off far from the city, sipping water from the ground and spearing kangaroos for lunch. That sort of comparison doesn't really get you anywhere and leaves you with a movie that doesn't tell you more than you already know. I think there's more than that to Walkabout. And I'm going to have a hard time expressing that additional dimension for you because it doesn't quite exist in the universe of words. Even in these days of film experiments, most movies have their centers in the world of plots and characters. But Walkabout, well, to begin with, the film was directed and photographed by Nicholas Roeg, the cinematographer of Petulia and many other British films. Roeg's first stab at direction was a co-director of performance. This was his first work as an individual. I persisted in seeing performance on the level of its perfectly silly plot. And on that level, it was a wretched movie indeed. People told me I should forget the plot and simply enjoy the movie itself. But I have a built-in resistance to that notion, usually. Perhaps I should have listened, because Roeg's Walkabout is a very rare example of that kind of movie in which the civilized characters and the aborigine exist in the wilderness that isn't really a wilderness, but more of an indefinite place for the story to be told. Roeg's desert in Walkabout is like backstage for Waiting for Godot. That is, it's nowhere in particular and everywhere. Roeg's photography reinforces this notion. He is careful to keep us at distance from the physical suffering of the characters. To be sure, they have blisters and parched lips, but he pulls up well short of the usual cliches of suffering in the desert. And his cinematography and John Barry's otherworldly music make the desert seem a mystical place, a place for visions, so that the whole film becomes mystical, a dream, and the suicides which frame it set the boundaries of reality. Within them, what happens between the boy and the girl, and the boy and the little brother, is not merely communication or survival or cooperation, but the same kind of life enhancement that you imagine people feel when they go into the woods and eat berries and bring the full focus on their intelligence to bear on the problem of coexisting with nature. Questions. Number 1. What happens with the main characters at the end of the movie? A. They are saved by an aborigine. B. They are abandoned in the desert. C. They go to Australia. D. They get married. Number 2. How does the author characterize the way in which the movie tells the story? A. It's ridiculous. B. It is excellent. C. It is funny. D. It is too simple. Number 3. What is compared in the movie? A. Noble, savage and life. B. Civilization and natural life. C. Villages and cities. D. City dwellers and Bedouins. 4. How does the girl feel at the end of the movie? A. Longing. B. Miserable. C. Worried. D. Betrayed. 5. How does the author find explaining the other meaning of the film? A. Difficult. B. Easy. C. Acceptable. D. Appropriate. 6. Who is likely to be fascinated by the story itself according to the author? A. Young parents. B. Serious people. C. Children. D. Aborigines. 7. What does the author say about most movies? A. They are centered on plot and character. B. They tell you nothing new. C. They show wildlife. D. They draw parallels. 8. What was the first movie that Nicholas Roeg directed? Petulia, Performance, Walkabout, or Waiting for Godot? So A. Petulia. B. Performance. C. Walkabout. D. Waiting for Godot. Number 9. What is special about Roeg's photography in Walkabout in the author's opinion? It uses the stage A. It uses the stage from Beckett's Waiting for Godot. B. It mainly uses the usual cliches of suffering in the desert. C. It keeps a distance between viewers and the characters' sufferings. D. It supports the idea of an indefinite place. Number 10. How does the author characterize John Barry's music? A. Dreamlike. B. Mundane. C. Supernatural. D. Common. Just a moment. Let me see what does. Yes. The grading here. Between 0 and 10 points, fail. Between 11 and 30 points, A1. 31 and 60 points, A2. 61 to 80 points, B1. And 81 points to 100 points, B2. Today we are going to talk about the 2014 oral topics, oral subjects. I must admit that my favorite part is the oral exam because I participated on it for I think 5 times in my life, or 6, I don't even know. And basically, if somebody is prepared, then it's a celebration of your knowledge, yes? So you shouldn't be afraid, you shouldn't be fearful and go there stressed. You should just answer and be absolutely positive and celebrate the knowledge that you accumulated during the 12 years of English study that's behind you. Now the oral exam, let's see. Yep, good. What do you do and how do you do it? This is the first one. You enter into the room and you will find 2 teachers that assess your knowledge. Yes, 2 of them. You see that you pick a number, yeah, a note, a ticket, on which you have 3 subjects. You have plenty of time to complete the 3 subjects. If the draft sheet, ugye a piszkozat, if the draft sheet helps you by taking notes, feel free to do it. If you are confident enough not to take notes, then you can do it also. Why not? But it's very wise if you take notes. My second idea for you, or suggestion for you, is to feel free to speak. Feel free to engage into a dialogue with the teacher, because that raises your chances to obtain a B2. So, 2014 subject. First one, answer the following question. What kind of clothes do you like? This is the first one. Second one, describe a happy memory from your childhood. Third one, give your opinion on the following statement. Being in the public eye is not for everyone. Use relevant arguments and examples to support your ideas. Now let's see how many points you can obtain for each topics, each subject, and what do they require from you. First one. As I said, the first one was, what kind of clothes do you like? Everybody can talk about this subject because we are so much into fashion, or not. Good. So, you get 20 points for this, this topic. What you have to do here is to form short answers which are adequate to the subject, using simple phrases, simple sentences. Your lexical knowledge should be sophisticated. if you use terms, phrases, words related to fashion or related to clothing, of course it helps you. And use correct grammatical forms. And yeah, basically, and they also grade the way you form your sentences and how you connect the words and all this. Let's see the second one, which already gives you a chance for 30 points. So that should be a little bit more difficult. Describe a happy memory from your childhood. Well, if it's a description from your childhood and you don't consider yourself at 18, 19 a child anymore, and you will talk about a memory from let's say 6 or 8 or 10, then of course what kind of tense will you use? Past tense maybe? Yeah, surely past tense. So, good. What do they require you here? What you have to do here? Just a moment, let me find it out. Yep. And here it is. Okay, sophisticated expressions, sure. So describe a series of events or an event related to the topic, and produce a discourse that is clear and up to the point. So your precision here is graded basically. So you shouldn't derive from the subject, but you should rather be precise and speak clearly about a series of events or one single event from your past, which is a positive, good childhood memory. Next one. Here also lexical. This was for 15 points. 5 points is the lexical knowledge, the uses of phrases, and the way you are able to convince the teacher that you can use sophisticated vocabulary that is related to the subject. Good, and another 5 points are given. Yeah, 15, 5. Yeah, 15, 5, and yes, okay. Next one. Structures. You have to convince also the teachers about the usage of proper grammatical structures and phrases, and how you, so to say, control grammar, how you are able to use proper grammar. So 15, 5, another 5 points is given, yes. For being able, yeah, this is again the usage of grammar, how you are able to use grammar and translate your own ideas, which are basically in your own native tongue, to English. And the last 5 points are given so it says that you have to be coherent in your expression and pronounce your thoughts clearly, and you can use short breaks also if it's needed. But it doesn't mention that you must get into a dialogue here with the teacher, but I think it's not a problem if you start a dialogue with the teacher. Let's see the third one, which covers 50 points, which is the best one. Give your opinion on the following statement. Being in the public eye is not for everyone. Use relevant arguments and examples to support your ideas. Now this requires a lot more, because first 10 points will be given. You have to give clear arguments that sustain your point of view. If you covered, and I hope you did, and I hope you prepared with your teacher about argumentative essays, how to write them, or argumentative texts, or at least argumentative compositions, then you know what to do here. Even if you didn't do it in English, you did it in Romanian and Hungarian, so you can connect your knowledge and you can use them spontaneously here. In this, you have to give clear arguments, and when you give arguments about your own ideas, that means that you must convey a message and you must prove your point. Next one. An efficient way of rhetoric and using varied connectors, also linkers, that connect the sentences and make them structural and coherent. Connectors and linkers. For my students, I emphasized 1,000,000 times that connectors and linkers are very, very important. What are these? For instance, however, if you use an argument and you want to use a counter-argument, then the linker would be however. For instance, I would say, my opinion is that we have to protect nature, however, business people think in a different way. Or, obviously. Obviously is a very good linker. Or, on the other hand, on the one hand or on the other hand. Or contrary to this. And there are 1,000,000 linkers that are good to use. Next 10 points are given for correct vocabulary that is connected to the topic, and that should be, your vocabulary should be as sophisticated as possible. Good. The next 10 points are given for correct grammatical structures. Yes, it also mentions that they tolerate little grammatical mistakes. And it is true, it is true. If you prove to the teacher that you are able to speak, and if you are brave enough to get into a dialogue and prove your point, then surely the teacher will tolerate little grammatical mistakes. And the last one is fluency, 10 points given for fluency, and the way you determine, you prove that intonation and speech simply comes naturally for you. So basically, the subject, the topic is not a struggle for you, but rather it's a pleasure and it comes naturally for you to speak English. And if everything is alright, then you obtain B2. B2 is between 81 and 100 points. I would like to talk about the writing exercise from 2014 graduation exam, the back. There are two subjects. One accounts for 40 points and the other for 60. Subject number 1. You have just won a competition and you would like to tell your friend about it. Write an email to your friend giving him or her details about the competition, telling him how you feel about winning it and informing him about your future plans. What I would like to emphasize here, that this is an email and you write this email to your friend. So don't write it as a letter, right? Remember the formats of an email. There is a to, there is a from, then there's a subject. There is a way to greet somebody, and this person is your friend. So you can be easy like calling him hi or hello or anything else, because it's not a letter. Secondly, as you talk to your friend, this is an informal email, so the tone that you use with your friend is informal. Of course, you will not call your friend sir or madam, or you will not use formal language with him or her. Right. Here you have to write about 80 to 100 words, and that's all. Everybody knows how to write an email. And the second subject, which is an essay, you have recently had a debate on success. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay giving your opinion on the following statement. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. And this is from Alexander Graham Bell. Write your essay in 180 to 200 words. First of all, this is an essay. And what kind of essay is this? The genre of this essay is an opinion essay. You have to give your own subjective opinion on the following statement. Excuse me. Yeah. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. You will have to support this idea with your own argument, your own opinion, and so on and so forth, and you have to make it like 200 words, opinion essay. Now, let's see what the tasks require us. Alright, so, first one. Yes. They give you 40 points for the first one, which is the email. First of all, it has to be adequate to the situation, so to the purpose of the text. So it has to be like an email. You have to respect the limit to the number of the words. So if it says 80 to 100, please don't write 400 words, or don't write just 25. Write simple sentences. Short. Use short sentences which express what you feel. And briefly present the action itself. So as in a description. Now, 10 points are given for the organization of the text. So, use correct words and simple phrases. Use proper connectors and linkers to produce a coherent and simple text. This is already 5 plus 5 points. That makes up to 10. Also 5 points are given for correct grammar. Use correct grammatical structures and correct grammar. And also 5 points are given for proper vocabulary. Second subject, 60 points altogether. Let's see the content. The text, again, it has to be adequate to the situation, to the purpose of the text. You also have to respect the limit of the number of the words. That's also another 10 points. This is already 20. And the arguments and opinions that you present have to convince the reader. That's already 10 points again, so 30. How do you organize the text? 10 points for organization of the text. It's very important that the paragraphs would be presented properly. And here again, the connectors and the linkers will add up to 5 points. Correct grammar will be another 10 points. Correct grammatical structures and different tenses and different grammatical structures. And another 10 points will be given for adequate, sophisticated vocabulary. And again, 0 to 10 is failure, 11 to 30 A1, 31 to 60 A2, 61 to 80 B1, and 81 to 100 B2. I represent Tamási Áron mezőgazdasági és ipari szakképzőiskola from Bors, and hereby I'm going to present some general ideas about the English BAC this year. All right. So first of all, for this exam we have different names. Tehát angol érettségi. We have the following names for that: final exam, or graduation exam, or graduation exit exam. So there are, or they call it A-levels also. So there are different names for it, but it's basically the BAC, you know, and everybody has to take it. Now, I want you to be sure that it's not a very difficult exam. There is a difference between the standard Romanian, mathematics and Hungarian exams and the English exam, because you will not be graded. So you will not get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10, but you get, according to the standards, an A1, A2, B1 or B2. Now the percentage of the students who pass this exam is very high. So the percentage of the students who pass on every task is very high, because you have 4 different tasks. Number 1 is the audio task, the listening part. Now the listening part, I think, is the easiest, because you get 2 different recordings, and those 2 recordings are played twice. Tehát A hanganyagnál ugye két különböző hanganyagot fogtok kapni, és kétszer lesz lehetőségetek meghallgatni, tehát bőven lesz rá időtök. So you get enough time to listen to the recording twice. Two different recordings and you can listen to it twice. As a personal advice for you is to listen carefully to the audio material, to the recording, and don't be ashamed to use the draft paper. Tehát az én személyes véleményem az, a javaslatom, hogy amikor hallgatjátok a hanganyagot, először is ugye legyetek nagyon figyelmesek, és nem szégyen használni a piszkozatot. Tehát, hogyha már akkor nektek van ötletetek, akkor ti azt oda jegyezzétek fel. Now, back to the audio recordings. You can listen to them twice, you have enough time, and there will be a multiple choice test in a written form on your sheet. So you will have to decide between the answers A, B, C or D. Alright? Tehát a különböző, tehát megkapjátok papíron ugye a lehetséges válaszokat A, B, C és D, és amiután meghallgattátok ugye a hanganyagokat, akkor kiválasszátok, hogy szerintetek az A, a B, a C vagy a D a helyes válasz. The answers are pretty obvious. So it's not the task of the teachers and the examinators is not to trick you. So the answers are pretty obvious, and you will have to circle one answer. Tehát minden egyes kérdésnél egyetlen egy választ ugye majd bekarikáztok, annak megfelelően, hogy mi az, amit hallottatok a hanganyagban. Alright, the second one, oral exam. The oral exam is also very easy. There are 3 different subjects, 3 different questions, and you will have to be able to talk about those subjects with the teacher. You will enter the class, 2 teachers will be in the class, you will choose a subject. Of course you will not know what subject you choose. It's going to be a number, let's say 41, and you get 3 different topics on your little ticket, on your little note, right? And as I know, there are something like 15, 20, 30 minutes to be able to solve the problems and to be able to listen, to converse with the teachers. But as I said, it's easy, so you just move forward and basically you present the topic to the teacher, and if the teacher asks you questions, then you simply reply. You get into a dialogue with the teacher. The more sophisticated you speak, the better. The better your vocabulary is, the higher your grading will be. So it's just something very positive, and I hope you're looking forward to pass this oral exam. The next task is the third task, and I would say the third and the fourth task also, because the third one is comprehension. In the comprehension exercise, you will get 2 texts, and you will have to read them, understand them, comprehend them, yes, either by scanning or skimming or both, yes. You read them as many times as you need to, because you have to understand the text. And there will be different answers also, A, B, C or D. And you will have to circle the correct answer. Tehát a szövegértelmezés az szintén egy nagyon érdekes és pozitív és vagány kis feladat, és ahogy már a videó elején említettem, a diákok nagy része szintén ebből átmegy. Tehát mindenből átmennek a diákok, mert nem olyan borzasztó nehéz ez az angol érettségi vizsga. A lényeg a szövegértelmezésnél az, hogy ténylegesen értsétek meg, mi az, amit olvastok, olvassátok el annyiszor, ahányszor muszáj. Tehát, hogyha te 2 olvasásból már tudod, hogy mi a helyzet, akkor oké. De hogyha 4-re van szükséged, semmi probléma, nem szégyen. Arra vigyázzatok azért, hogy az időből ne fussatok ki. Szintén az lesz a helyzet, hogy A, B, C és D válaszok közül majd be kell karikázni a helyes választ, elolvastad a szöveget, megértetted, innentől kezdve csak be kell karikázni a helyes választ. Egyszerű. Let's move on to the fourth task, which is the writing exercise. I would say that this is the most difficult out of the 4 tasks. The first subject is that you have to write basically an email or a formal letter or an informal letter in something like 80 to maximum 100 words. This should be easy for anybody who is already in the 12th grade, right? Like 80 words. If you consider the greeting, like Dear John, and the final greeting, like best regards, and the closing sentence, I look forward to talking to you, or I am looking forward to talk to you, or to meeting you, to seeing you, or whatever, then 80 words is basically 7 or 8 complete sentences. And at the second subject, second topic here, you will have to write a 200-word composition. Now this will not be an email, this will not be a letter, this will be a composition. 200 words. You should not write 250, and you shouldn't also write just 150. So you should be precise. 200 words is not that much, alright? It's like 20 sentences. Now if you get a text, an argumentative text, or an argumentative essay, so to say, but 200 words cannot really be called an essay, just a composition, then you will give pro and contra, pro and con arguments, or opinion essay, yes? But writing 200 words is not that much, it's just 20 sentences. So I wish you the greatest of luck for all of you. Keep being positive, and these were my general thoughts about the final exam, the graduation exam, and I will take the tasks one by one. And I want to talk about the BAC exam, yes, the graduation exam, the final exam, whatever you may call it in English. Now, my plan is to make 6 different topics, to cover 6 different subjects from 6 different years. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018 and 2019, and that would be enough for everyone to understand how the exam works. Now, the first part is the listening part, the audio part, which I think the easiest. Of course, I cannot play the recording for you right now because it's 17 minutes. so it's no way to play it, but you find it on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, and the title of the channel creatively is Péter Boyer. So if you go on my YouTube channel, Péter Boyer, then there you find the audio material for the final exam, the graduation exam in English. You don't only find the audio version there, but I made it into videos, and in the descriptions you have the questions that you have to answer. Tehát, nagyon gyorsan magyarul, a YouTube csatornámon, aminek a neve Péter Boyer, megtaláljátok az audio felvételeket 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18 és 2019-ből. Természetesen nem tudom számotokra így 17 perces, meg 18 perces hanganyagokat lejátszani, viszont ott megtaláljátok, és a leírásban pedig ott vannak a kérdések, és szintén el kell döntsétek majd, hogy A, B, C vagy D válaszok a helyesek, stb. Stb. És innentől kezdve folytatom angolul és magyarázom nektek, hogy miből áll ez az egész. So, you get two different subjects. As I mentioned in the earlier video, you have two different recordings played twice. So you have the first subject, the first topic, and it's played twice. So you have enough time to understand what the text is about. Then you have the second topic, the second subject, and it's also played twice. So if you focus well, if you concentrate well, if you try to understand it well, you will be able to answer the questions. The questions are not difficult. They are actually not questions, but multiple choices. So you just have to circle the correct answer. Now, just a moment, let me open here a folder for you. Let's see the first one. For the first one, for instance, there you have a recording, I would say maximum 3 or 3:30, I mean 3.5 minutes, doubled, yes, that would be 7 minutes, and you have 4 different questions here, like Alan's surname is, his phone number is, Alan's nationality is, Alan works at. And you have multiple choices, A, B, C, D. Easy. Then you go to the second, just a moment here, what I want to mention also here, that you get 40 points for the first subject. Second subject, for 60 points, you have a different text. Also, it is played twice, and you have question number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Also multiple choices, and you will have to circle the correct answer. Briefly, the human remains, the archaeologists found, Richard became king in, Richard's reign was preceded by that of, King Richard III of England was, Richard III was defeated by Henry Tudor, and Greyfriars Church, where Richard III was buried, and there you have 4 different answers, multiple choice, A, B, C, or D. Now, let's see the grading here, the standards. Between 0 and 10 points, that's 0 correct answers, you fail. That's really improbable because most of the students pass. A1. A1 is between 11 and 30 points. So between between 2 and 3 answers. Yeah. Good. A2. 31 and 60 points. that would be 4 good answers to 6 good answers. B1, 61 to 80 points. That would be 7 good answers or 8 good answers. And B2, 81 to 100 points. That's the max. 9 to 10 good answers. So, if you are interested in the 2014 English BAC exam, the graduation exam, the final exam, whatever you may call it, then go on my YouTube channel, and there you find the video and the questions and solve them. Thank you very much. See you very soon.